John I Tzimiskes was the senior Byzantine emperor from the 11th of December 969 to the 10th of January 976. An intuitive and successful general, he strengthened the empire and expanded its borders during his short reign. Background: John I Tzimiskes was born into the Korkhoar clan, a family of Armenian origin. Scholars have speculated that his nickname, Tzimiskes, was derived either from the Armenian shmushkik, meaning red boot, or from an Armenian word for short stature. A more favorable explanation is offered by the medieval Armenian historian Matthew of Edessa, who states that Tzimiskes was from the region of Korsun, from the area which is now called Shmushkatzag. Korsun was located in the region of Panachon, in the Byzantine province of Fourth Armenia. Tzimiskes was born sometime in 925 to an unnamed member of the Korkhoar family and the sister of the future emperor Nikephoros II Phocas. Both the Korkhoar and the Phocadi were distinguished Cappadocian families, and among the most prominent of the emerging military aristocracy of Asia Minor. Several of the members had served as prominent army generals, most notably the great John Korkhoar, who conquered Melitene and much of Armenia. Contemporary sources describe Tzimiskes as a rather short but well-built man, with reddish blonde hair and beard and blue eyes, who was attractive to women. He seems to have joined the army at an early age, originally under the command of his maternal uncle Nikephoros Phocas. The latter is also considered his instructor in the art of war, partly because of his familial connections and partly because of his personal abilities. Tzimiskes quickly rose through the ranks. He was given the political and military command of the theme of Armenia before he turned 25 years old. His marriage to Maria Sklerina, daughter of Pantherios Skleros and sister of Bardis Skleros, linked him to the influential family of the Skleroi. Little is known about her. She died before his rise to the throne, and the marriage was apparently childless. The contemporary historian Leo the Deacon remarks that she excelled in both beauty and wisdom. Rise to the throne. The Byzantine Empire was at war with its eastern neighbors, the various autonomous and semi-autonomous emirates emerging from the breakup of the Abbasid Caliphate. The most prominent among them was the Hamdanid Emirate of Aleppo under Saif al-Dawla. Armenia served as the borderland between the two empires, and Tzimiskes successfully defended his province. He and his troops joined the main part of the army, which was campaigning under the command of Nikephoros Phocas. Nikephoros justified his name with a series of victories, moving the borders further east with the capture of about 60 border cities including Aleppo. By 962 the Hamdanids had sued for peace with favorable terms for the Byzantines, securing the eastern border of the empire for some years. Tzimiskes distinguished himself during the war both at the side of his uncle and at leading parts of the army to battle under his personal command, as in the Battle of Raban in 958. He was rather popular with his troops and gained a reputation for taking the initiative during battles, turning the course. On the death of Emperor Romanos II in 963, Tzimiskes urged his uncle to seize the throne. After helping Nikephoros to the throne and continuing to defend the empire's eastern provinces, Tzimiskes was deprived of his command by an intrigue, for which he retaliated by conspiring with Nikephoros' wife Theophano and a number of disgruntled leading generals to assassinate Nikephoros' reign. After his coronation in December 969, Tzimiskes dispatched his brother-in-law Bardis Skleros to subdue a rebellion by Bardis Phocas, a cousin of Tzimiskes who aspired to succeed their uncle as emperor. To solidify his position, Tzimiskes married Theodora, a daughter of Emperor Constantine VII. He proceeded to justify his usurpation by repelling the foreign invaders of the empire. In a series of campaigns against the Kievan Rus' encroachment on the lower Danube in 970 to 971, he drove the enemy out of Thrace in the Battle of Arcadiopolis, crossed Mount Haemus, and besieged the fortress of Dorostolin on the Danube for 65 days, where after several hard-fought battles he defeated Great Prince Sviatoslav I of Rus. Tzimiskes and Sviatoslav ended up negotiating a truce, in which weaponry, armor and provisions were exchanged for the famished Rus' departure. On his return to Constantinople, Tzimiskes celebrated a triumph, built the Church of Christ of the Chalkers Thanksgiving, divested the captive Bulgarian Emperor Boris II of the imperial symbols, and proclaimed Bulgaria annexed. He further secured his northern frontier by transplanting to Thrace some colonies of the Paulicians, whom he suspected of sympathizing with the Muslim neighbors in the east. In 972 Tzimiskes turned against the Abbasid Empire and its vassals, beginning with an invasion of Upper Mesopotamia. A second campaign, in 975, was aimed at Syria, where his forces took Emesa, Baalbek, Damascus, Tiberias, Nazareth, Caesarea, Sidon, Beirut, Byblos, and Tripoli, but they failed to take Jerusalem. He died suddenly in 976, returning from his second campaign against the Abbasids, and was buried in the Church of Christ Chalk Heights, which he had rebuilt. Several sources state that the imperial chamberlain Basil Le Carpenes poisoned the emperor to prevent him from stripping Le Carpenes of his ill-gotten lands and riches. Tzimiskes was succeeded by his ward and nephew, Basil II, who had been nominal co-emperor since 960. Miscellaneous. Today, Tzimiskes Street, the main commercial road in the center of Thessaloniki, is named after him.